Welcome, everyone. We are back with the Season 6 of EXA Racing League. It is time for the first round of the X1 division here in Saudi Arabia, and we are just about to get underway with qualifying. This track has the most corners on the calendar with 27 corners, and we have 3 DRS zones, so plenty of opportunity for overtaking. Lots of high-speed corners and high-speed straights on this track, so it's a very technical one for our drivers today. But we, of course, have the top drivers in EXA Racing League in this division. So, of course, new season, which means the championship is reset and all is to play for today. The drivers have 18 minutes, 3 sets of soft tyres to get as many laps and the fastest lap down as possible. We're going to start to see the drivers load their setups and leave the garages to get onto their outlap today. I hope you're all doing well. And we're getting underway with qualifying now, as we see our first drivers starting to leave the grid. Let's have a look here. There we go. Let's unmute the game. So I hope you're all excited for this, the first round of X1. X1 is always an exciting night on a Wednesday. Let's set our telemetries up so we get the lap data, the track maps, and the telemetry for the driver that we're watching. Let's start to see the drivers warm up the tires. Of course, don't want to go too fast on this outlap. Warm up the tires and make sure that they don't use up the tire usage all the way. So we have a couple of drivers from V10 Esports here tonight as well on the roster. You can see Leo, V10 Leo, in the McLaren. And chat, who are we all supporting tonight? Any drivers, any constructors you guys are supporting? V10 is no longer a thing, apparently. Well, that's stuff to know. Our first driver is coming around the corner to start their hot lap. If I can find him, it would be nice. There he is. It's Katana going down the main straight, heading into turn 1 and 2, braking late, hugging the inside, making sure you get a good exit here out of turn 2, using all of the track here as well. So head into the next set of corners, another left, right. This is where it starts to get really technical. And there's also that raised curb, which we're about to see in a sec, which can send you flying straight into the wall. He just lips his left-hand side wheels onto it. But beautiful exit there, using all of the track and all of the curb. Then we get into the on-camber hairpin at the back of the track. And coming up to the second DRS zone in just a second. We've got one more braking zone before that. A fast right left-hander. And here we go. Coming up to the DRS zone now. Going to hit the DRS wide open. Maximum exit speed. Trying to keep it in a straight line for as much as possible. Into the next heavy braking zone. Left, right. Using all the track. Getting the car up on the curb as well. And onto the back straight. We've already had one retiree. That looks like a crash there from one of the Haasers. We'll check that out in a sec. As he rounds the final corner. The Max Verstappen corner. So close to the wall there. Almost nicked it. And across the line to set the first time a 1:26.7 for the drivers to beat. There we go. We've got a couple more drivers coming across the line here. We've got Tony Ritchie in the Red Bull. DRS wide open. About across the line. And it's a 26 flat. So 7 tenths up on Katana. Because these are still the first runs in quali. You get about maybe 3 or 4 runs on this track in a short qualification session. So the rest of the drivers starting to come across the checkered flag now. Tony is still at the top, but it's not by a lot. V10 Leo, only 7/100ths of a second behind him. And then it's Roland, who's a 10th down. So yeah, it looks like Stanners in the Haas had crashed into the wall in Sector 1 and is out of the race. Let's see if we got anyone. We've got someone. We've got the Williams leaving the pits here. But I don't think we have anyone on an outlap just yet. Got Ryan Grob about to cross the line as he's past the final corner. Is he going to be able to take... Well, second place is pretty good with a 26.014. So only 7 milliseconds, I guess, off Tony Ritchie there. Of course, there is no Q1, Q2, or Q3 here. It is just fastest time wins pole position. And let's have a look and see. Got all the drivers driving very slowly, of course. You don't want to impede anyone, but also you don't want to use up all your tires either. And we're riding on board with Cavero in the Mercedes, going down the back straight, passing his teammate just there, tucked in on the left, using all of the track, of course. And then the third and final DRS zone as we head towards the final corners, and he's abandoning that lap. Got a couple of cars in front of him. And cars are going to start to head into the pits now, get some new tyres on, get a full tank of ERS and head back out again. So we've got about 5 drivers who haven't set a time yet. 4 drivers who haven't set a time. 5 drivers. I was right the first time. Who haven't set a time yet. Looking at Spectre here on the outlap. Rounding into Sector 2. And Anton goes 13th fastest in the Ferrari there as he's just crossed the line to set his first lap of quali. Let's see what Reese in the AlphaTauri is up to. Looks like he's just going to be heading into the pits now. And it looks like we have the Williams here on a hot lap. Let's ride on board. As they exit turn 2. We've got their teammate right in front of them. And they're heading round into the wall, into the technical section of Sector 1 here. As I was mentioning before, the raised curb there doesn't hit it as much as we've seen other drivers do so. And flat out towards the hairpin, getting a bit of a toe from his teammate. That was awfully close. He sets the fastest Sector 1 right now with a 32.4. So this is looking like a strong lap now as we head onto the back section of the track. Braking just at the 50-meter board. Right left-hander using all the track. Oh, there's a little bit of a touch of the wall there. That's going to cost him a little bit of time. But now DRS zone. DRS wide open immediately. Getting all the straight line speed he can. Into the next heavy braking zone. Braking just before the 50-meter board. Left right-hander using all of the curb there. Getting very, very close to the wall. Opening up onto the third DRS zone. Heading towards the final corner now. It was a 32.4 for the first sector. So let's see how he does in the third and second sector as he's about to cross the line here. First DRS zone. Crosses the line. It's only 15th fastest. So he had a purple Sector 1, but a very weak Sector 2 and 3 there. And we're about to see Spectre finish their first lap in the Aston Martin. Crossing the line. It's not very good, I'm afraid. 126.878, which puts him dead last at the moment. Drivers are starting to leave the pits again on their outlap. And we're about to see a couple more flying laps in just a second for the second run in this quali. We're just watching Grosjean in the Red Bull come into the third sector. And coming towards the final corner. And let's ride on board as we're about to watch him, presumably start a flying lap into the final corner. No, doesn't look like he's going for one here. Taking a strange line. Maybe that's just to get the maximum exit speed here. As he opens the DRS, it looks like he's on a flying lap. And Pablo gets a 5-place grid penalty for illegal blocking there. Not sure what's happened there, but the game has given him a 5-place grid penalty. Anyway, no Grosjean. Heading towards the tricky section of Sector 1. Maximizing all the track, trying to get as close to the wall as possible here as he's flat out round these corners. Has to lift there just to get the car rotated in, and now it's flat out towards the banked hairpin at the back of the track. He sets the fastest Sector 1, 31.3, so it's looking good for him right now. We're heading into the next heavy braking zone. Braking just at the 50-meter board to get it right close to the wall. Ride the curb. Oh, that was almost the wall there. That was very nearly close to the wall. But now, second DRS zone. Try to steer as little as possible just to get the straight line speed. And into the fast left-right-hander. And then it's flat out all the way towards the final corner. DRS zone. Third one on this track. Hugging the inside wall. A little bit of a tap there. Shouldn't cost him too much time in this game. Braking in between the 150-meter board. Round the final corner. It looks like he did a 27.7 in the second sector. Let's see where that puts him. That puts him on pole position for now. With a 125.8. That is almost a 10. Well, that's a 200ths clear of P2. Right now, so it's a Red Bull 1-3 as it stands in qualifying right now. So we're about to see more cars go round the final corner. But let's ride on board with Alexi Cavero as they're heading around the final corner with the third DRS zone. Flat out towards the final corner. They're a 10th slower in Sector 2 than Black Box has just set the fastest lap. Hello. So we've had a lot of people just improve their laps that I've just missed. Cavero didn't, but now the fastest time is a 125.7 by Black Box. I did not see that. Did not see that coming. But yeah, here come the 125s. The track is getting grippier. They're putting on... That's another fastest lap from the Haas. 125.715 as we... Just watching someone, making sure they're not impeding anyone on the track there. It's good practice. But let's see if we got anyone here on a flying lap. We're looking at Surprise round the final corner. And let's see where they end up. It's only 12th fastest for them. It's still an improvement though. And let's see, let's head towards the Aston Martin on the back straight. They're not on a hot lap. They are on an out lap though, so we'll ride on board through this entire out lap. And let's also make sure we look out for anyone improving on the pole position here. We haven't got long left of qualifying. It's kind of hard to see because of the caution flags as everyone driving so slowly. But here we go. Spectre starting his third... I believe, third flying lap, maybe second or third flying lap, as he heads into turn 1 and 2. A little bit of a slide there. So he hasn't managed to get an amazing exit, but here we go. Into 3 and 4, downshifting very quickly there to get the engine braking working. And into the technical part. Trying to get to the closest to the wall as possible, riding that curb very nicely. You don't want to go too deep on that curb. However, you can on that one. And now we're heading into Sector 2. He set a 131.7 in the first sector, which is very fast. And now he's heading onto the back part of the track. Next, heavy braking zone just before the DRS. Goes a little bit wide there. That's going to compromise his exit. He almost touches the wall as well. So here we go. Round into the final heavy braking zone. Eats quite a lot of that curb, but sticks to the wall. And then third DRS zone. He's wide open with the DRS, heading towards the final corner. Going to brake just after the 100 meter board. Get it turned in nicely. Doesn't quite use all the track there. But let's have a look at where he ends up. It's a personal best sector 2 for him. Across the line, it's only 16th fastest with a 126.5. So we have almost everyone in the pits here, apart from Spectre and Adam, who is on an outlap, just warming his tyres around the banked hairpin. We're starting to see a lot of the drivers, well, actually, yeah, we're starting to see quite a lot of the drivers leave the pits now and go on to the final run. We have 2 minutes and 50 seconds left of quali, which means that once you cross the line and it hits 0, you can only complete that 1 lap after. So 2 minutes left. Everyone's going to have enough time for 1 run, at most likely, maybe 2 if you're last out of the pits. But let's have a look at Adam here. Still warming the tyres, but he is going to be on a flying lap very soon as he's coming towards the final corner. Can anyone beat the 125.7 set by Trixty? Coming towards the final corner, really slowing down. And we have another 5-place grid penalty for Ryan Grob. Well, not another for him, but another in the session. He's currently sitting in 4th. That'll bring him down to 9th for illegal blocking. And here we go. Adam's currently sitting in 13th. Starting his 3rd flying lap. I couldn't speak there. Braking just before the 50-meter board. Bit of a lock up there, taking quite a lot of the curb as well, and he's immediately abandoned that lap. Clearly knew that those first 2 corners were not optimal. Let's have a look at our pole sitter for the moment. Currently warming up the tyres as he's going down the back straight, and is going to be starting his flying lap. So everyone here who is on an out lap only has doesn't have any time to be able to complete another one after this. So this is going to be their final run as Adam retires from the session there. So unable to improve. Everyone is very, very grouped up here. So we have another retiree for the race. So that's 4 retirements. There we go. People feeling like they cannot improve on their times. And everyone is just waiting at the final corner here to get going. Don't want to give everyone else a tow or have someone get in the way in front of you. But here we go. The Haas. Currently sitting on pole. Not something you hear very, very often or ever, really, in real life. But here in Equal Performance on Formula 1 23, on F1 23, it's possible. Heading into the more technical section of the track. Here we go. Getting really close to the wall there. Riding the curb. It's a flat-out double left-hander and a right-hander, and then a little lift here to get the car turned in. Use all of this exit curb, and then straight towards the banked hairpin. Here he goes. Braking just after 50 meters, getting the car nicely turned in, and getting right up against the wall at the exit as well. Everyone on a hot lap here, so this is going to get very chaotic with the times very, very quickly as everyone is bunched up quite closely. But we're riding on board with Trixty in the Haas. Second DRS zone. DRS wide open. Here we go. Towards the final heavy braking zone. Braking just at 50 meters. Get the car turned in. Ride all of that curb on the exit. And coming towards the final corner with the DRS wide open. It's the famously Max Verstappen corner. Ryan Grob sets the fastest lap, but he does have a 5-place grid penalty. Tony Ritchie sets the fastest lap. Currently sitting on pole. Can Trixty improve? No, he can't. He cannot improve. So currently, Tony Ritchie, fastest lap at the moment. Let's ride on board with Roland going round the final corner. Let's have a look at what he can do. Fastest Sector 1 for him. What can he do? Only 4th for him, but that's still a very good improvement from what he was originally in before this run. Here we go. We've only got... Well, I think that's everyone, actually, across the line here. That is everyone across the line, I believe. So that is our final standing order. So I've just had a message, presumably from Rolly in the Twitch chat, saying, due to a wrongful penalties given by the game, the race will start with a custom grid. Drivers will retire at the start. That's presumably for these falsely given 5-place grid penalties. So, as it stands, it's Tony Ritchie on pole with Ryan Grobbin, the McLaren, right behind him, if that penalty doesn't get revoked. Then it's Julian in the Alpine, Roland in the Mercedes, and then it's Trixie in the Haas in 5th place. Rounding up the top 10, we have Black Box, V10 Leo, Grosjean, Sousa, Cavero, and then further down the order, we have Reese, Surprise, Sevener, and Pablo. And let's have a look at the rest of the drivers, if my steering wheel will work. We've got Adam. Oh, well, there we go. We've got Adam. Okay, so Tony is on pole for the first race of Season 6. And let's get the custom grid sorted, hopefully. Right. So I'm not sure how they're going to revoke these penalties with the custom grid. We've got a red flag. So I presume we're going to be recreating the lobby or something like that. So just stand by while I get some information on that. Everyone, retire from the race. Do not leave the lobby. Any drivers watching this, retire from the race and do not leave the lobby. Very important. And it's going to be a false start. And there we go. No drivers on the grid moving. And we're starting to see all the retirees. Is everyone... Wow. I mean, way to go out in style, guys. Come on. What a way to go out in style. Jesus Christ. We just got a front wing in the face of the camera. There you go. Everyone deciding not to hit escape and then retire, but instead smash off their front wheels. There we go. Lovely stuff. Hello, safety car. Well, at least we got a spectacular ending to that false start of the race. And we'll get this underway with the correct grid order. It was exactly like Spa. Let's ignore that podium finish and this. You know what? Should we look at the race director for this? Because that's pretty good. DNF, 5-second penalties, 5-second penalty. DNF, warning, DNF, warning. No terminal damages. Where are all the terminal damage? Oh, there's one there, right? Oh, that's all the DNF. Yeah, there. I missed them. So, of course, we're going to be going next, as they say. And we'll get this race underway in just a moment. Of course, F123's penalty system is not always the fairest, as I'm sure we've all experienced in our single-player or multiplayer careers every now and again. But luckily, we have a great system in place at EXA where we can revoke those penalties after the race if they're unfair, and of course, restart the race if we have any issues in qualifying. Here we go then. We're going to get the custom grid. I wonder where I can see it. Am I able to see it? Just having a look. I don't know. Who is my prediction for? As a commentator, I have to stay unbiased. However, I would say I would win if I was racing an X1. Currently, I race an X5, which is the lowest division. But that's because Rowley had to nerf me. You know, the owner of the league, Rowley, he nerfed me because otherwise I'd just be too powerful. It would be like putting prime Max Verstappen, ex Lewis Hamilton, ex Michael Schumacher, ex Senna in one being, and then slapping them on F123 with a bunch of people online. Like, what can you do? I'd win by 40 seconds. Which is not something that hasn't been done before. I mean, like Max Verstappen 2023 season. But hey, what can you do? I'm just the greatest driver. That's why I'm commentating. Of course, that's not true. I don't know who I'm not too familiar with all of the drivers on the grid. I know Reese is very strong. So is Leo. From the one race. I believe I only commentated one race last season for X1. Or maybe two. It was like one or two. I haven't commentated many races because I sort of started commentating towards the end of towards the end of season 5 here at EXA. Bro knows his stuff. I know, I'm a genius. What confidential info? I thought this was known. I thought this was known that I'm the greatest racer of all time. Anyhow, so hopefully we'll be getting the race underway here. Just looking at the X1 chat, and we're just sorting the grid order out, making sure it's all okay. Let's have a look at the assists, just to remind ourselves. That's the assist restrictions. So the only assist restriction that sort of changes between divisions is the traction control. Everything else is allowed, basically. It would be interesting to see if X1 with no assists though. Since it is, you know, the highest league, the highest division. In my opinion, it would be interesting to see X1 with no assists. And forced cockpit cam. Imagine that. Maybe not, but you know. I wonder if anyone is going to go outside the box on strategy. Yeah, maybe we could see a two-stopper or something like that. That would be interesting. Although I feel like with a track like Saudi Arabia, you know, very fast corners, very narrow, not much runoff at all anywhere really. We could see some safety cars, which will maybe interest things up here. Yeah, X1 no assists would be fun. I feel like, you know, if you're fast enough to get to X1, you're most likely not using assists anyway. That's my opinion, because, you know, less assists, the faster you go, kind of thing. But I think it would be really interesting. Also, more people could make more mistakes, so you know, it's more fun. The safety car is unreduced, so it would take quite a lot of damage to make a safety car go. X1 will be no assists within the next 2 seasons. For not, we have to facilitate opportunities for reserves. Almost all main drivers are no assists anyway. That does make sense. Thanks for the insight. So yeah, it is most likely that these top drivers are no assists because it does make you faster. It's funny, I drive with no assists. Maybe that's why I'm slow. But I drive with what's it called? corners only. The racing line on corners only. But I like having to control the braking and the throttle. Makes the game a bit more fun as opposed to just stamping on both, you know what I mean? Hopefully we're getting underway soon. Not seeing anything that's saying we are fully done. Oh, so yeah, the weather settings for EXA. I don't know what they exactly are. I'm not sure what dynamic means. I believe it's that it can change, but how many sort of I mean, it'd be really cool to have some wet weather races in EXA. Oh, imagine a wet weather Bahrain. That'd be funny. Okay, we have some lobby update settings, so maybe that's the grid. We can get going soon. Apologies for the delays, but you know, F123 is F123. Are we all excited for F124? Apparently, the Korea is getting a redo, which I would like. Also to remove the bugs. That would be nice. Okay, we've got the exclamation mark green in the X1 chat. We're going green. Everybody is readying up. I'm still spectating, which is good. I don't want to be a driver. Hold on to your hats, everybody. We're about to go. Yeah, F1 Manager 24 seems very cool as well. All right, the race is going to start in 8 seconds. It's not prize money per race. I believe it is at the end of the season. Position 1, 2, and 3 get a prize pool of $200, which you can see at the bottom of the graphic here, split between them. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls, and everybody in between, we're about to go racing in Saudi Arabia. As we're loading into the game. Yeah, we're just waiting for the last of the drivers to load in. I believe we have some Xbox drivers, so, you know, a bit slower than the PC. And then we've got 20 or so, 25 laps ahead of us, I believe, of Saudi Arabia. Of course, half distance race, which means it's half of a full real life Grand Prix. So we're most likely going to see some. We're most likely going to see one stops here, medium to hard or a soft to medium. But if we do get a safety car, it could be a two-stopper. But it would be nice to see some people going on the two-stopper, maybe towards the back of the grid, make up some places, get an early jump on everyone. And we're just waiting for everyone to load in. I'm going to take a sip of my Fanta. It was more like a gulp, really. You know what I want to know? How do, like, actual commentators who are professionals have, like, a throat? Like, after commentating. Like, imagine Crofty. He commentates, like, the entire race weekend. How is his, like, throat not gone by the time he says it's lights out and away we go? Oh, crikey, what's taking so long? Here we go. We've got lights. And they're about to go out. Now, there they go. Richie gets a good start, but Ryan Grob's got the inside line towards turn one. Ryan Grob is wheel to wheel as they go around turn 1 and 2. Tony Ritchie leaves him just enough space on the outside. It looks like the Alpine is in the fight as well here for P1 as they head towards turn 3 and 4. And Tony Ritchie is ahead. Here we go then. Around the technical section of the track. Everybody following each other right in front. And we've got a yellow flag there. Looks like a Haas is right at the bottom. Let's take a look. He's still going, but maybe had a little bit of a spin there. Let's rejoin right at the front as they head round into Sector 2. And here we go. DRS, of course, not enabled for the first 2 laps here in F1 23. Although the rules did change in the 2024 season. And that's an Alpine cutting the track there. Goes a little bit deep into that corner and has to cut the track. Going to be getting a track limits warning for that. Let's enable telemetry and the position change detail. We're heading round towards the final corner now. Everyone well grouped up apart from that Haas sitting at the back. Let's ride on board with Roland here, sitting in P5. He's got all of the action for the lead right ahead of him. Looking to get a good exit and a jump on this Haas here. He's got a very good exit here. It looks like Trixie has a bit less rear wing compared to Roland. He's got quite a bit more straight line speed. But Ryan Grob is in the lead of the race as he overtook Richie as we were watching that. And he's now in the lead of the race when it comes to into the second lap. Stanner's in the pits here. Clearly has some front wing damage. But our main attention has to be on the front of the pack. Ryan Grob retaking the lead as Stanners retires from the race in the pit lane. And the Alpine just having a little bit of a look there towards Tony Ritchie as we head round the banked corner. And here we go. DRS will be enabled at the end of this lap. 3 DRS zones here, of course, which means that plenty of opportunities for overtaking into turn 1. But Julian is getting past Tony Ritchie, and he's done it. He was wheel to wheel, but he's just got the straight line speed, it looks like. I think Tony Ritchie's going to have another look as we head towards the final corner here. Let's ride on board. Using the overtake just a little bit, trying to get closer. Where's he going to go? Is he going to go inside, outside? He's not going to make the move. Oh, but Julian has a slide there. That's going to impact his exit speed. But it looks like he's got a lot less downforce because he is flying on the straights here, trying to break the slipstream. As Morgan sets the fastest lap there, down in P12. He's made up 7 places on the first 2 laps, so quite a feat for him. Let's go have a look at Morgan here. He's chasing down the Alpine here. Rounding into Sector 1. Down in the midfield in P12. Started round the back of the grid. And has made his way up into the midfield already within 3 laps. Here we go then. Is everyone rounding nicely? DRS is enabled, I believe. There we go, DRS enabled, and Alexi is going to be using that to his maximum. We've got quite a bit of a DRS train here. In fact, the entire grid is a DRS train, as everybody is within 1 second of each other. So it's all going to be about exit speed. It's all going to be about ERS and tire management, because the DRS isn't going to be much help. But we see an Alpine go towards the inside in the final corner and gets the move done on Pablo. Lovely stuff there in the corner of your screens. But let's have a look. Tony Ritchie started on pole. Moved down to 3rd place here. And that is the battle for the lead that we've just seen. And Julian has taken the lead into turn 1 with DRS. And now Ryan is going to be looking to take back that lead and counter-attack. He's got 100% ERS, so he hasn't used much of it to defend, or any of it to defend, really. Okay, so let's have a look while we're settling into the race. Morgan Edwards still making up places, up in P11 now. Started down in P19. Julian is currently taking the lead. However, there is a massive train of cars. Everyone is sticking very close together here. Julian started P3, up in third right now. Couple of people losing places at the back. Reese, Katana, the Williams, Anton in the Ferrari, all losing places and battling it out. But let's have a look at Morgan Edwards. Currently has the fastest lap and is set a 29.2 in the second sector. And he has DRS here to try and get his opponent, Pablo. He's 0.3 seconds away as we head into the final corner. See if he can get a good exit and maybe get a bit of a run. Everyone still has DRS. And everyone is still within DRS range of each other. Detail tires. Here we go then. So we've got most people on the hards. Oh, that's Morgan with a tangle. Is that front wing damage for him? As he's moved all the way to the back of the grid. That's really unfortunate. He was doing so well. But he's put himself all the way back down as he hit the wall. And I think he has wing damage. Let's move up to Trixie, who at one moment in qualifying had the fastest lap. He's now currently sitting in P4 and chasing Tony Ritchie, who started on pole for third place for the final step on the podium in these opening 5 laps. Here we go. DRS wide open as we ride on with the helicopter, the virtual helicopter, of course. Coming towards the final corner after the last heavy braking zone. Let's see if Richie's going to defend this. Richie has a lot more ERS, about 20% more ERS. We're coming towards the final corner. Let's ride on board. He's getting ever so closer. But the battle for the lead is even closer. Ryan Grob defending from Julian, who is going to go around the outside with DRS. They're going wheel to wheel into the first corner, but it looks like Julian is ahead. And Ryan Grob just slots in behind him. And that is another change for the lead. So the medium's clearly working out for Julian right now. Managing to get an early jump on the people at the front on the hard tire. And look at the gap he's already built. Half a second in the first sector. He's on a 33.4 in that first sector. And he's going to try to break DRS here. No one has broken DRS, in fact, at all. Apart from, of course, Anton, as Morgan Edwards heads into the pits for a new front wing. He's now quite a while behind. He's put on some new hard tires, and he's going to be looking to go quite long into this race with them. So let's see here. We've got a DRS train all the way from P1 to P18. The two Williams are starting... Well, the second Williams is starting to fall back from surprise, and maybe that's where we'll see the DRS train break off as everyone heading towards the final corner now. Let's see if Ryan Grob is going to go for an attack, and he's got past before the final corner. Does that mean he has DRS to get away? I believe it does. As Tony Ritchie is now going for Julian as well. No, Ryan Grob doesn't have DRS, so we've got a 3-way battle for the lead here, heading into turn 1. Julian takes the inside line, but he isn't just enough ahead. And Ryan Grob stays with the lead there after overtaking just before the final corner. With Tony Ritchie hot on their tails as we head towards the more technical part of the track. This is, of course, where Lance Stroll crashed last weekend. Predictably, may I add. And we're heading towards the banked hairpin at the back of the track. So let's see if there's any more battles we can have a look at. Black Box currently trailing behind the Haas in his AlphaTauri. Only 0.15 seconds behind. Let's ride on board. Very important to get these heavy braking zones right, especially when you're in the train. You don't want to lose exit speed behind, but you also don't want to run straight into the back of the driver who's in front of you. DRS train from P1 all the way to P15 here. Anton has broken it, and we've got some battles at the back, as we can see. Oh, that's a little bit of a slide there from Black Box, exiting the corner. Snap of oversteer. That's going to cost him a bit, but let's ride on board again with Julian going round the outside here towards the final corner. Can he get the move done? There's a bit of contact there between the two of them, and they slide a little bit, and there's Trixie there in the Haas sliding as well, as the two Haasses are now side by side going down the main straight. We're also Ryan Grubb and Julian are also side by side. Who's ahead? It's hard to tell. Ryan's ahead as they head into turn 1, but then Trixie's up into third. Tony Ritchie falls down. No, they've swapped. Who's ahead? Let's ride on board with Tony Ritchie. It looks like he is ahead of Trixie, keeping on to the final step of the podium there. And Black Box not able to capitalize since he had that slide in the third sector. So I feel like if he didn't, he maybe could have made up a place there while the top 4 were squabbling a little bit. So the top 15 still all packed together in the DRS train. And then we have 3 drivers who are separated from 16th to 18th. And then Morgan Edwards, after crashing into the wall in the first corner, is now 30 seconds behind and has a lot of ground to make up. Everyone still so closely packed together. This is really good racing here. Everyone just stuck in the DRS train, trying to make the most of it as we head towards the final corner. This is where we've seen a lot of the overtaking, and I wonder if we're going to see it again. Julian has DRS on Ryan Grubb, who is one of the very few people in this race who doesn't have DRS. How much ERS does he have? He has 85%. Is he going to use any of this to defend? Julian doesn't go for the overtake round the final corner. And he does have DRS down the main straight. He's a lot closer now. He's on the better tires. He's on the medium. He's taking him to the inside. And he is ahead and slots himself nicely back into P1. We've had a lot of changes for the lead. A bit of a poor exit maybe. A bit of wheel spin there. And the leaders really haven't been able to separate off from the pack because they've been fighting so much. So we see a position change down in P6. The Mercedes versus the Red Bull. And let's have a look. Now Roland has a bit of ground to make up. Now we've got past Grosjean to get to Black Box. Here we see another McLaren V10 Leo go down the inside of Grosjean, round the banked hairpin. They're still wheel to wheel. Who's ahead going into the braking zone? It's Grosjean who is ahead. Let's see. Tony Ritchie a lot closer to Ryan than he was on previous laps. And Julian is trying to keep that gap open, but it's so hard to do with these 3 DRS zones on this track, which makes for a lot of overtaking opportunities like we've seen. Okay, here we go. Another battle for the lead. The top 3 separated by 0.3 of a second. Ryan Grubb very, very close to Julian here. And Tony very, very close to Ryan Grubb. Who's got the better exit? Tony and Ryan have DRS. Is Ryan going to go for a move here? It doesn't look like it's going to be a late one. Julian moves to the inside to defend, and there's not enough room or road for Ryan to make the move into turn 1. Julian has a little bit of a slide there exiting turn 1 too. As we're riding on the side of Ryan going around into the technical section. Let's see if he gets this just right on these hard tires. As we have a retirement and a yellow flag there from one of the Williams sitting in P18. We can't watch him. And that is Morgan heading into the pits again. Not sure why. Clearly having a very rough race. Are they putting on new tires, or are they putting on a front wing? We have a safety car. We have a full safety car, and Morgan has read this perfectly, in fact. I was misjudging that. Morgan has read this perfectly. He's putting on the mediums. And, well, as everyone slows down and bunches up, Morgan's going to be able to drive like hell and catch up to the back of the pack and hopefully gain some positions, or hopefully for him, gain some positions under this safety car. He's passing the safety car now. You can't drive flat out until the leaders reach the safety car here. Then he can drive as fast as he can, but I don't think he's going to be able to make up any positions, as we're probably going to see a couple of people head into the pits. Mostly the people on the mediums. Julian is probably going to head into the pits here. Yes, he is. We've got the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Everyone's barreling to the pits here. Literally, yeah, everyone is in the pits. So the people who are close to their teammates are maybe going to have a bit of an issue, like the Red Bull there, just a little bit slow with his teammate leaving. Of course, no worries of unsafe releases here in F1 23. Well, let's have a look. Reese, Grosjean, Pablo, Adam, Leo, all made up places here during the pit stops. They got the faster pit stop. Maybe the people who they overtook got held up by their teammates just a little bit. And Morgan Edwards heading around the final corner. Everyone's going to be bunched up, and then the safety car will go in a lap later. So everyone on the mediums now, apart from 3 people, Katana, Adam, and Julian, who is in the lead. So we have the 2 Alfa Romeos and an Alpine on the hard tyre. Everyone else on fresh mediums. So let's see. Is Tony and Ryan going to be able to get the jump on Julian on the fresher, better, faster tyres? As the safety car is rounding the back straight. So we've had some pretty good racing so far in this first stint of the race. We've had a lot of battles for the lead. And we've had 2 DNFs thus far. And everyone was also very, very tightly packed up from P1 to P15. Everyone was in DRS range. So there's always some action going on here. So our top 3. They have been battling out since lap 1. Julian, Ryan, and Tony. Closely followed behind is Trixty, Blackbox, and Roland. Roland made up quite a few places, I believe. Let's actually have a look at the places. Oh no, he's gone down places. My apologies. Adam and Pablo are both making up 6 places and now into the points since the start. Tony, of course, started on pole, wanting to get that first place back. He gets a point for pole position here at EXA. And he's going to be hoping to regain the lead. He's got 2 places to make up. So the safety car will not be in this lap. Probably the next lap as Morgan filters into the back of the pack here. And hoping to... Well, the pack has closed up to him. He was previously 20 seconds behind. So hopefully he can make some good improvements. He managed to get himself up to P11. And that's... is that Katana pitting again? I'm not sure why. Maybe they hit the wall during the safety car and need a new front wing. That's probably going to make the safety car go another lap, I believe. Putting on mediums. Very interesting. Maybe he was... did he have a 5-second penalty there? No, he didn't. A slow release. Not sure why he's pitted there, but he has. And does that mean we're going to get another lap of safety car? We will find out once we get into Sector 3. So we've not had too much contact towards the front. We had a little bit of a skirmish between Julian and Ryan exiting the final corner. But nothing too drastic that has cost anyone the lead. We're now running into Sector 2. We'll find out if the safety car is going to be in this lap. Yeah, I think it will be. Everyone is bunched up together. And let's have a look once we cross into Sector 3, which is just in the middle of this back straight. So currently, Morgan Edwards has the fastest lap, a 1:30.36, which is, if I'm just looking now on my telemetry, that's a 0.2 clear of anyone. But we're probably going to see some faster laps here. Lots of people on the mediums and a lot less fuel load. I haven't seen the message for safety car in this lap, but I might have just missed it, to be honest. There we are. There's safety car in this lap. So Julian going to back up the pack here. And the safety car is rounding the final corner. Well, in just a second. It has been very close, this race. And it's going to continue to be close in the second half. We've got 13 more laps to go. Safety car, as we can see in the right-hand side of your screen, just entering the pit lane now. And when is Julian going to get the power down? It's going to be now, at the exit of the corner. Gets the jump on Ryan. 0.3 gap between them. He's going to try break the slipstream, weaving a little bit towards the outside. And let's have a look. Is anyone going to make a move into the first corner? No. The leaders all file in nicely towards 1 and 2. Here we go then. Tony a lot closer to Ryan than he has been previously. As they head round the tricky section. Let's see how well Julian gets this. With the slower tyres, he is on the hard. Oh, he takes a little bit too much curb there. Maybe that raised his car up just a little bit on that raised curb. He is on the slower tyres and he's defending. So this is going to be quite a job for him if he wants to maintain this lead. But surprise, gets a surprise penalty. Thank you, I'm here all night. Of 3 seconds for track limits. And Julian is holding on to lead. No DRS for another 2 laps, remember, at the safety car restart. But Ryan Grob is right on his tail. 0.1 seconds between them. Let's ride on board. Is he going to go for a move into the final corner as we head to the final heavy braking zone just before the final corner? Lots of finals there. He's using his overtake. Is he going to go for a move here? It looks like it. He's going round the outside. And Julian doesn't fight back with any overtake. And there goes Tony Ritchie as well, trying to go around the outside. But Julian's got the inside line. And Ryan Grob gets just ahead. And Trixty there, having a little look on Tony Ritchie. Clearly got the better exit. And there we go. That's the fastest lap. Set by Reese. The fastest lap obviously changing as we go. That's very close between 2, 3, and 4. And Julian gets a bad exit. Lots of little contact. Julian gets a bad exit, which compromises the Haas. And Tony Ritchie, well, he goes up a place. And now he's up into P2. Ryan Grob retook the lead. Julian down in P3. And clearly had a very bad exit, or a very bad turn 1 and 2. And now he's lost the lead. Ryan Grob trying to extend as Trixty goes round the outside of Julian. Can he make it stick? They're wheel-to-wheel exit in the corner. Who's ahead? Going towards the next braking zone. It's Trixie. Julian started at the safety car reset in P1, but now has dropped all the way down to P4. Tony trying to get back the pole position which he had and trying to get back the race lead, but he's 0.8 seconds away. And DRS is going to be enabled soon, so he needs to stay within 1 second. I've just been told by chat that Surprise was lagging, and that's why he got that track limits penalty. I'm going to presume that those are still going to stick with EXA FIA, unless there's, of course, like proof that there's absolutely nothing you could do with that. Not sure it matters too much. He's down in P15, but there's always a chance to make up some positions here at the league race. DRS enabled here. Tony Ritchie needs to stay within a second of Ryan Grob to have that DRS. As we see the Mercedes and the Alpine go side by side. And Julian down in 5th now. Down in 6th. He's losing so much to everyone on the medium tyres. He's just losing positions with the straight line speed and the cornering speed. There's absolutely nothing he can do here. They're just on the faster tyres at the safety car restart. And because he started on the mediums, of course, he has to switch to the hard for this. For I believe it was it's going to be a 13 lap stint is this one here. Unless, of course, we see another safety car. Of course, most people started on the hards, which is why everyone is now on the mediums. Let's have a look then. Further down the field. Morgan Edwards hasn't managed to make up any places yet. as the safety car restart hasn't been optimal for him. Let's have a look at Cavero in the other Mercedes. Has DRS now. We've got a DRS train throughout the entire grid. Everyone is within a second of each other. And I believe we're about to see Grosjean go for a pass here on Julian. Morgan Edwards gets a 3-second time penalty. Not ideal for him. Bit of drafting going on there by Grosjean. He switches to the inside. He outbrakes Julian. And Julian just runs into the side of him there. And that's causing him to lose a lot of places here. He's gone from P1 down to P8 since the safety car restart. Not strong, but he's about to get overtaken by V10 Leo. They're going almost 3 wide into the first corner. And who's got the inside line? Contact there again by Julian into the rear of the Ferrari. Maybe getting a little bit frustrated since he's been losing all these positions. He's almost dropping out of the points despite starting in first at the safety car restart. Let's have a look towards the front of the grid. Tony Ritchie chasing down that first place, which he started this race with. He's only 0.3 seconds behind Ryan as they head round the banked hairpin of Sector 2. And now we see Julian drop again to P10 here. He's using his ERS. He's using all the tyres he can, but he just hasn't got the grip against these people on the mediums. He's going to have DRS again here. Is he going to be able to regain this position towards the end of the lap? Let's have a look. Let's have a look at this. He goes wide just a little bit. And that's definitely not good. And now he's just losing time here despite having DRS. But let's have a look very quickly as we go into the first corner. I've missed it just a little bit, but it's Trixie in the lead now. Final corner, sorry, not first corner. And it's now a drag race to the first corner. Tony Ritchie trying to make up places as well. Ryan Grob gets ahead. Tony Ritchie's got the inside. He gets past Trixie. And that is the order for this lap now. Ryan Grob, Tony Ritchie, Trixie in third. Black Box in fourth. Roland in fifth in the Mercedes, followed by the Red Bull, Grosjean in sixth. And then it's Ferrari, McLaren, Alpine, Aston Martin, which make up the points. And let's see, Black Box. He seems to have been competitive this entire race. Sort of just lurking in the P4. Maybe waiting for someone to make a big mistake so we can capitalize off it. And he's been very comfortable up in this position. He's sort of stayed in this position for most of the race, I believe. So, very comfortable sitting in P4. But I'm sure he's going to want that final step of the podium. But heading down the back straight now, we're going to see Tony is very, very close to Ryan. Is he going to make a move towards this final braking zone before the final corner? No, he's not. But he's very close. He's only 1.1 seconds away from Ryan. He has DRS. Trixie also has DRS. Are they both going to be overtaking him here? Into the final corner. Let's have a look. He's right on board with Ryan. He's got the inside line to defend from Trixie, but Trixie gets ahead, squeezes him into the wall and gets ahead. Now Ryan has DRS and Trixie has DRS on Tony going towards the first corner. Are they going 3 wide here? Almost. But there's just not enough straight line speed when you don't have DRS. And Ryan goes a little bit wide, and that's giving Tony the opportunity to fight back here. And Trixie is in the lead. Now going into the third and fourth corner. Black Box's name is pronounced as Race. That's a bit confusing considering it is literally called Black Box on the... I'm going to keep calling him Black Box because that's what he's displayed as. Okay, Trixie. First time he's really led this race for more than about half a second going down the main straight. And he's going to try to increase that gap, and he's doing it quite a bit. He's got 0.6 seconds on Ryan, who is definitely going to be under pressure from the Red Bull of Tony Ritchie. Black Box just chilling behind here, waiting for someone to make a mistake. And there we go. The second DRS zone going towards the braking zone here. Everyone fitting in nicely. You don't want to go wide here because that will compromise your exit speed towards the third and final DRS zone of the track. And Ryan, is he going to go for a move here on Trixie towards the final corner? Just not enough room. He's going to leave it till the first corner of the lap here. You can just see how much time that Ryan is gaining with this DRS. It was 0.6 of a second when Trixie took the lead. And now he's going down the inside to make the move into turn 1. Lovely stuff. But he still manages to retain P2. We haven't seen an entire position swap for the podiums like we've been seeing in the past few races. Past few laps, sorry. Not races. I was reading a Twitch chat. That's why I said that. Here we go then. Tony Ritchie, very close to Trixie. And this lead has been swapping lap after lap after lap since the start. It's been 19 different laps where we've had 19 different leads. Not by, but, well, 19 different race leaders, but not individually, if that makes sense. Anyway. Trixie, Ryan Grubb, trying to keep Trixie at bay in the Haas. He's got 0.4 seconds between them. As we're seeing V10 Leo make up a place there in P7. So currently, the leaders of the constructors would, I'd hazard a guess, be Red Bull or McLaren. But of course, it is only the first race, so everything is up for grabs here, including the lead of this race as we're heading towards lap 20. Trixie has DRS. Tony also has DRS. Tony trying to go down the inside. Not enough room there. Can't make the move stick. And Ryan has managed to retain the lead going into this lap, which we haven't seen too often in this race. Here we go then, towards the technical section. Whoever gets the best run here is going to have quite the advantage. So Ryan is looking for a great run and a great exit out of this tricky section, as Morgan Edwards gets another 3-second time penalty. And Julian, who was previously in this fight for the lead, is now 15 seconds back in P18. Dead last of the people who are running still. Not sure what happened to him there, but it was looking ever so good, but there was just nothing he could do. He switched to the mediums, but by then it was too late, and he was on the hards, and he just couldn't defend as he goes wide in that corner. Very unfortunate for the Alpine driver. It was looking very promising for him. And we've got a yellow flag, and that's Morgan Edwards. He's crashed. And that is a virtual safety car to clean up that debris. He has absolutely no front wing, so that's going to slow the pack down, but keep the gap relatively the same between all of them. So no overtaking underneath the virtual safety car, of course. Shouldn't be too long before the game releases the virtual safety car. And Morgan is going to be making his... Let's have a look. Morgan is going to have to be making his third stop of this race here for another new front wing. There we go. We're going green again. DRS re-enabled. And Trixie currently sitting in P4. He started this race in P5. He's made up 3 places, as we can see on the telemetry. And he's chasing down this lead from Ryan Grubb. Of course, first race of the season, which means everything is up for grabs. We've got some position changes there as Grosjean goes down the inside of Roland in the Mercedes. Lovely stuff there. We like to see it. And let's have a look at this lead again, because this is a 3-car battle for the lead, with the potential of the AlphaTauri to nab a spot at the podium if anything goes drastically wrong for one of these leaders. He's been keeping within the DRS and relatively close to them. But here we go. Trixie with DRS heading towards the final corner. He's not going to stick the move because he probably doesn't want Ryan to get DRS down the main straight and just retake the lead. So he's going to try get it done into turn 1. Ryan gets a decent exit, but it's nothing compared to the DRS down this main straight. Trixie going down the inside. Is there enough space? Oh, it's a late move there. but there was about a car length between them, but he can't make it stick. And Ryan Grob, beautiful defending there, great late braking, stays within the lead again for about the third lap, which we haven't seen too much in this race. We've seen a lot of lead changes, but Ryan is starting to show the true pace and consistency to be able to keep someone with DRS, or even two drivers with DRS, at bay and keeping that trophy to himself for now. 4 laps left then. Here. 22 out of 25. And the lead is very much still up for grabs. Everyone on the mediums, except for Adam, who is on the hards, and Morgan Edwards down in last place with a handful of penalties on the softs. As we head into the second DRS zone, everyone with a DRS train up until P16. So everyone's still very tight together, as we see on the position that Katana overtakes the Ferrari. And we can see Trixie and Tony going down the inside, and that's very close there. Trixie's got the outside line. I think he's got the better exit, but the question is, who has DRS for this main straight? Ryan Grob clearly made a mistake. He's down in P4. And there's a yellow flag again. We've got a Ferrari out, but that's no concern for the drivers at the front, as Trixie now has the lead. Ryan Grob down in P4. Black box up into the podium here. And Tony Ritchie ever so closer to taking back this lead. He's only 0.3 seconds away as we head through the twisty final section of Sector 1. And it looks like we're not going to be having any safety car or anything like that. Maybe just a spin there for Anton in the Ferrari down at the back. Okay, so DRS detection zone coming up. Tony is going to be within a second, which means he gets DRS. And hopefully, for him, he's going to be able to overtake Trixie to regain the lead of the race. He hasn't had the lead of the race for quite a while now, even though he started on pole position. And Black Box even closer now, but going to be under pressure from Ryan Grob, who's shown great consistency over these last few laps until he made that mistake there. And we have a retirement for Sousa in the Alpine, and the other Alpine, which has caused the yellow flag, but no safety car, so no need to worry. Here we go then. Down the main straight, big DRS train. Trixie is going to be under pressure from Tony Ritchie, who moves down the inside, gets the move done before the first corner. Trixie tries to stick around the outside, a little bit of contact there on the back of the Red Bull. And Black Box definitely just sticking his nose right at the gearbox of Trixie. Really wanting to get past now. But here we go. Tony Ritchie with all of his ERS to spare. He's in the lead. He's got a 0.6 second lead as we head into Sector 2. But we're going to see that diminish through the second and third sector, just because of how powerful the DRS is around here. But maybe we'll see Black Box start to pressure Trixie, or even maybe take the lead, as we've seen some double overtakes for the lead here down the final straight. There we go. Tony still keeping this gap at bay. However, here comes the DRS, and here comes, there you can see it immediately, the gap going down from 0.6 to 0.3 as they head into the next braking zone. Looks like Trixie went a little bit wide, and that's put Black Box right on him as we head on the third DRS zone towards the final corner. Let's ride on board with Trixie here. He's going to be attacking and defending from Black Box and attacking Tony Ritchie. Here we go. He gets a beautiful line there in the final corner. Looking for a good exit. He's got overtake on, and he's got the DRS. But Tony Ritchie also using overtake is going to make it difficult. And Tony outbrakes Trixie. Oh, that's Black Box going off the track a little bit and maybe nudging Trixie a little bit. And we're going 3 wide into turn 3. Ryan Grob backs out just in time before that could have been an absolute disaster. Trixie still holds on to P2, even though getting a little bit of a shove from Black Box going into the first corner. Maybe the AlphaTauri outbraked himself just a little bit. But more importantly, that has put Ritchie just over a second. We're just out of DRS range, but it looks like Trixie is going to be using his ERS to try to get this back. All important, we're heading towards the DRS detection zone. You can see the little green dot on the map. Is he going to be within a second? It's going to be close. I'm not sure that Trixie has been in DRS range of Tony. Let's have a look. He's not. He's not. So Tony has managed to escape the DRS there with the little tangle between P2 and P3. And this puts him at a massive advantage of winning this race. And we're on the final lap. I hadn't even noticed. This race has gone by so quickly. My apologies. It's the final lap. There's no DRS. And Black Box is going to go round the outside just before the final corner to secure P2. Here we go then. It's going to be a sprint to the line for P2 and P3. But Tony Ritchie wins the first race of the season for X1 Season 6. Black Box comes second. He's been very, very patient, and he's managed to make up into P2. Trixie, brilliant performance there in P3. Roland P4. Ryan in P5. Grosjean in P6. Reese P7. Alexi Cavero in the Mercedes in P8. Adam from Alfa Romeo in P9. And Spectre in P10. That makes up the points. We had 5 retirements here. And one of them was unfortunately Julian in the Alpine, who had the lead at one point, but the tyre disadvantage was just too heavy. Well, there you go. That is the first race of EXA X1 Season 6 here in Saudi Arabia. An amazing race for the maiden win of this season. Well done to everyone, and congratulations for Tony for getting pole position and the win here today. Reese set the fastest lap today, which means he's going to get 1 extra point with a 128.7. And that was a very exciting race. That was one big DRS train. You're right there, Chaz. Pretty much everyone was in DRS within each other. But when it came down to it, Tony managed to break DRS on the final lap, which caused him to be able to secure the win, because otherwise it would have been a 3-way drag race towards the line, I feel like. And maybe someone would have made a move at the final corner. There you go. There's the podium. Tony set pole position, dropped down to about 4th, but managed to retake the lead after the safety car restart, and everyone grouped up. So there we go. Brilliant performance by our top 3, and brilliant performance by everyone for some very, very exciting racing today. Okay, so this is the order for the drivers' standings, because, of course, this is the first race of the season. Except Reese and Grosjean are going to be tied on points since Reese got the fastest lap, I believe, unless that point already counts it. I believe it does. Maybe I'm wrong. I think it does. No. So this is the order. This is the exact order. There you go. So GG's to everyone. Great race. Let's see, any incidents? Yeah, terminal damage there for one of the Williams, which is why they DNF'd towards the beginning of the race. I'm just going to check with Rolly. I'm not sure if he wants any interviews or anything like that from our top 3. So for someone you want to do interview with Tony, if possible. So maybe we'll get an interview with Tony if we can. Just to get his thoughts on the race, and then we will end it there. He says he can't. No worries. Congrats on the win. Okay, everybody. Thank you very much for watching the season opener for X1. We are here pretty much every day of the week, 5 days a week, doing league races. Each one is streamed. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, everybody. I hope you all enjoyed today's stream and today's race. Make sure to join the league if you haven't already. It's a Discord server. We're very beginner friendly and advanced friendly. We've got 5 divisions from the slowest drivers like myself all the way up to the top drivers, which we've just watched tonight. Thank you very much for watching, everyone, and goodbye.